Alex, right here. Everybody in line.
I'm very last.
Hey, the last one he has to catch though.
Is this a microphone?
Everybody catches, right?
Is that a microphone?
No.
Are we on?
No, I grew up in SoCal. I played against you guys when I was an older boy years ago. So I know the organization, and I just thought you gave our kids, our kids beat the crap out of us and gave us t-shirts. So there you go. You're having a good time, that's it. So I was playing on California for last year in San Diego. Last year with Lester.
Event from Triple Crown Sports.
Crown Baseball World Series. It's Triple Crown Baseball World Series time in Steamboat Springs, Colorado from Howelson Hill Park. 13-year-old championship is up right now. Time to play championship baseball, Venata Field at Howelson Hill. We welcome you into Steamboat, and the lucky rock in the first base dugout brings us into tonight's championship broadcast. I'm Thad Anderson with Kevin Williams. Kevin, we've had you here now 3 years in a row. This 13-year-old championship on a beautiful Saturday night. Always one of the high points of the World Series, and a chance to watch what you have to say is talent, but also you just have to say is just great energy and great enthusiasm, great memories being made in front of us tonight.
Absolutely, Thad. Thanks for having me back again. I tell you what, it is amazing to watch this kind of talent at this age. Not every year, but a lot of years we have California and Texas represent. Looks like we're going to have the same thing this year. Two great teams. We got a chance to watch both of them in action, and I tell you what, there's some power and some talent on these teams. I'm excited as always to watch a game here at beautiful Venata Field. I love it.
That's who we are, Thad Anderson, Kevin Williams. There's one of a number of young faces we'll see tonight as we get into our championship game. You saw the plate meeting going on, the umpire meeting, and the head coach is out there, Chris Gay, the head coach of Arlington Heat. And for El Monte Dukes, it's Ken Weldon. Congratulations to both head coaches for delivering their teams to this championship. The Triple Crown Baseball World Series championship game is presented by Gatorade. And our championship game tonight also presented by Baseball America and by Triple Crown Sports. Thanks to Gatorade and Baseball America helping present this Triple Crown Sports Baseball World Series Championship game, 13 and under. And this bracket, the primetime bracket that we're watching tonight, the teams all start in a big pool play mix, and 12 teams, the top 12, come out of that into a primetime playoff that features two double elim brackets, 6 teams in one double, 6 in the other double. These two teams had to win their way through both pool play and double elim to get here. Been a long road, and for the El Monte Dukes, the home team tonight, this will be their 5th game today, having had to have won back out of the losers side of that bracket. Wow. They're at altitude, they're from California, they're up here in the mountains, but they're 13.
Yeah, I tell you, yeah, resilient enough. The arms are resilient enough, right? That means they've planned for their pitching well to get through a bracket like that. Obviously, a lot of talent. That's a lot of arms. I know when we coached together, we had a lot of arms. We had almost every kid on the team ready to pitch. Obviously, that's the way these guys work as well.
There is the home team, the El Monte Dukes. You saw that rock right at the start of our broadcast with all the names and different phrases written on it. The Dukes found that rock earlier here in Colorado, adopted that as their pet rock, their luck rock, and it's adorning the first base dugout. The Dukes are the home team tonight based on being seated higher out of pool play. The Dukes also have a win over Arlington Heat back in pool play, and a decisive win at that. The Dukes took care of Arlington Heat. They will rematch now tonight for the championship of the Triple Crown Baseball World Series. You see 50% of our umpire crew on your screen. We've got a 4-umpire crew on the field tonight. Congratulations to our umpires who have earned this opportunity to call the championship game. And among the mix, we've got Brooks O'Hearn, our second base umpire. He's out of Austin, Texas. First base, Mason Smith from Aberdeen, South Dakota. Third base, Rob Montoya from Las Vegas, New Mexico. And home plate, Luis Villalobos from Denver, Colorado. The lineup you saw pop up. We'll take a look through the Arlington Heat lineup. Batting order looks like that. They are batting a 10-batter order tonight, with Blake Lalonde being the last in the 10-batter order. Those last two you see on there are substitutes. Lance Raines and Caden Davis will be subs tonight. And it's going to be Tyler Schott, Colby Reeves, and Gavin Brzozowski, the first 3 in the order, who we will see in the top of the first. Dukes taking a look at their right fielder, Brandon Medina. There's their catcher, Cody Neal. Cody behind the dish, and he will be catching pitches from the starter, Scott Ellis. Ellis on the pitching mound, ready to deliver pitch 1 of our 13-year-old championship from Steamboat. Pitches down. Scott Ellis, talent on the mound for the Dukes.
Yeah, no kidding. A lot of talent. He's going to North Carolina next week, trying out for Team USA. Pretty incredible stuff.
Yep, it's a select tryout, an invite tryout, and Scott Ellis attended an earlier round, was invited to make the trip. A small number of players from around the country will have an opportunity to try out for Team USA, and that's where he'll be next week. Number 22 right there on your mound. Hanging out in Steamboat this week, and North Carolina next week. Not a bad start to a young baseball career.
Not bad at all. Not only pitching, but he's also hit a few home runs this term as well. I think 3 or 4
tournaments
this week.
Yep, he'll be batting in the number 5 spot, Will Scott Ellis, the current pitcher, and he's got 4 home runs here in Steamboat during the World Series. 2-1 pitch. Leadoff batter is Tyler Schott. Tyler slated for center field defensively in the bottom half of this inning. He's trying to lead things off in the top of the first. Tyler Schott, the right-handed batter, looking at a 3-1 count now. Tyler in a good position here with this pitch coming. And ball 4. So not what the Dukes wanted to start, but Tyler Schott, the leadoff for the Heat, does exactly what they want. On base to bring Colby Reeves to the plate. Colby will play second base. So look at Tyler taking his place, and Colby steps in.
Obviously, that's not what Scott wanted to do there, but it's a championship game. Anybody's nervous to start a championship game, trying to find his groove.
Starts this count off with a strike.
That might be enough right there to break off the ice and feel more relaxed up on the bump.
Here's the 0-1 pitch. Bends around the zone, 1-1 count.
Looks like that's the first off speed we've seen him throw. He felt comfortable because he had that started off with that first pitch strike, so then backed it up with his first wrinkle.
Move over to first. Keeping an eye on Tyler Schott with Colby Reeves in the batter's box. Curious if we'd see bunt right out of the gates. Haven't seen on the first 2 pitches of this at-bat any sign of bunt from Colby Reeves. Still no sign. Catcher Cody Neal drops and keeps that in front. You can see the dust puffing. It hasn't rained in Steamboat in about a month. That's what we're here in.
Since about July 4th.
Yeah. Dry conditions. Two-one count. Pitches up, lined at third, and doubled off. That's a rocket from Colby Reeves. Nothing wrong with that swing, but it results in a 5-3 line-out DP. Luke Solis at third base makes the play, throws it across to Ray Northey, and nobody aboard now with 2 out.
I'll tell you what, that's exactly what the doctor ordered. That's what Ellis needed as a double play to erase that walk to start the game off. And Mr. Solis over there snagged it, line drive. Easy throw to first, double him off.
Unfortunate for Arlington Heat. I mean, that's everything you wanted. And if that ball gets through, it's extra bases. And let's just acknowledge it. No need to try to act like it's any different. There's a small ski hill behind us, Howelson Hill, and this field continues down that slope a little bit. You hit the ball toward left, and it's actually downhill toward the left field foul pole. That ball's out toward left and going to get down. So with 2 outs, a base hit. That's Gavin Brzezowski keeping the inning alive. Now a runner back aboard at first base. So a walk and 2 well-hit balls. He'd have to feel good about that, even though they don't have a whole lot to show for it yet.
Yeah, just keep putting the ball in play. Good things will happen. That's taking an outside pitch, taking it the other way, looking comfortable. Laid it out there to left field. Nice, clean base hit.
And now the cleanup batter, Caden Volkel. Caden, shortstop, defensively after another out is recorded by the El Monte Dukes, the defense. But first, he's going to try to go to work. He did offer, and strike 1 called. Caden Volkel, 0-1 count. Looking at the pitching chart here, just to let you know out of the box, Scott Ellis, he pitched 3 innings in their very first game for the Dukes way back on Wednesday when the tournament started. Each pitcher gets 7 innings through their first 4 games played, and then they get 1 extra inning for each game after that. This is a high chop down the third base line. Gonna have to make a quick play, did it. Good defense at third base from Luke Solis in the first inning. He turns a line-out double play and makes a nice play on a high chopper to record the out on Caden Volkel. Defense from Luke Solis. We're through a half inning. Nothing for the Heat and the Dukes. Coming up next in the 13-year-old championship game from Steamboat Springs, Colorado at the Triple Crown Baseball World Series.
This is our lab. It's where we learn everything we know. Where we study the athletic body, what it does, and what it's capable of doing. so we can identify the perfect nutrients to fuel it. Your game is our lab, and everything we learn here, we put into here.
Arlington Heat, nothing in the top of the first. Now warming up defensively. The starting pitcher for Arlington Heat will be Jaden Lopez, number 25, on the bump. Lopez taking his warm-up pitches, delivering those to Blake Lalonde, the catcher you see on your screen. Half inning in the books, and the Heat had a walk and a single, but that line-out DP conspired against them getting something going. Here's a look at the batting order for El Monte Dukes. And we'll run you through that. It's going to be Flores, Pelayo, and Rocha, the first three. We'll take a longer look at that lineup in just a second, but it'll be Mike Flores, Elijah Pelayo, and Liam Rocha, the three due up to get things going offensively for the El Monte Dukes. We were talking briefly right before that third out was recorded about the pitching charts. For Scott Ellis, he pitched 3 innings. He's the starting pitcher here for the Dukes, who got through that first half inning.
Yep.
And Ellis threw 3 innings way back on Wednesday, so arm is fresh. You can throw 7 innings through your first 4 games, and then you get 1 additional inning for every game played. The Dukes, this is their 10th game played. So each pitcher could have up to 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 innings pitched in the tournament. So Scott Ellis has 10 innings available here.
Sure.
A full load available, and he's a heck of a pitcher.
That'd be a lot of innings to pitch. But like you said, they're 13 years old. They're pretty resilient. Hasn't pitched since Wednesday, so he's got a lot of room left.
But just so you know the status, if Ellis gets it rolling, he can go the whole game. A lot of times by the time we get to this game, guys are kind of worn down. The flip side for Arlington Heat, they've got a picket fence strategy going on.
Right,
they
that's
want to
right.
approach pitching with their head coach Chris Gay.
Yeah, he knows it's a good hitting team. It's pretty incredible. He knows it's a good hitting team. He knows that these guys are he's gonna try to throw the kitchen sink at them.
Mike Flores will lead it off. Here's the pitch to Flores from Jaden Lopez. It's strike 1. So Lopez, from what we understand, is going to go 1 inning.
Right.
We know we've been told there. Chris Gay, head coach for the Heat, says he's going with. He'll change pitchers every inning for the first 4 innings for sure, and then he'll see if he can let a guy roll longer.
Yeah, it's a pretty good strategy against a team that you've already faced, and they were very successful against some hitting. So the Dukes hit the ball well against them last time. We call it the kitchen sink. We're going to throw everything at them, including the kitchen sink, to try to keep them off balance. It's a good idea.
In the first game these two teams played, Jaden Lopez actually started the game, went 2 innings, gave up 3 runs. He's starting again against the Dukes. That's a ball for a 1-2 count.
Like what I see Lopez doing so far, pounding the zone. Didn't give him anything too nice with 2 strikes.
It bounces through and evens it up. The Dukes and the Heat playing right now. They played early in pool play back on Wednesday, and it was this same guy, Jaden Lopez, who you see on the mound right there. 2 innings, 4 hits allowed, 3 runs, all of them earned. In that game, the Heat actually led 4-2 after the first inning, but then there's strike 3 inside part of the plate. Great pitch location, out number 1.
What's a beautiful spot. Jaden knows from now on, Jaden knows where to hit that spot. Umpire behind the plate gives it to him on the inside corner. Great pitch.
Mike Flores, who struck out, he's the leadoff guy for the Dukes. He has 3 home runs here in Steamboat during the course of the World Series.
Wow.
He also won the home run derby back on Tuesday during the skills competition day. So that's an important first out because Flores has power. He's got speed. He's an on-base guy. And retiring that top of the order from the Dukes is important here. The Dukes are loaded offensively. They've got Elijah Pelayo in the batter's box now. Eli playing second base defensively and wielding the bat now here in the bottom of the first.
You saw him score around a bunt. Last game we watched, the Dukes did play a little bit of small ball as well. They moved runners around by executing bunts, keeping the ball in play.
So the final score when these teams met in pool play on Wednesday, the Dukes won it 16-7. A blowout, but remember the Heat, they were in it in the early part. It got ugly in the second half. There's a half of a step of enough time for the defense at shortstop. Caden Volkel makes the play, and Heat liking what they're getting here with 2 outs recorded.
I tell you what, yeah, pounding the zone, getting ground balls. At shortstop, Volkel sat back, let that ball come to him, picked his right hop, threw it over hard. Great play.
Here comes Liam Rocha. Liam, shortstop for the Dukes, batting with 2 outs. Saw between half innings here, the Gatorade commercial that ran.
Yep.
Every time something like that pops up, ground ball back up to the middle. The sunshine kind of tough there. Knocked down and nicely played. Jaden Lopez had to fight the sunshine. He sticks with it, makes a nice play off the mound to defend his position, and that's a 3-up, 3-down, bottom of the first. Arlington Heat getting some pitching and some D with a strikeout looking and a couple of ground ball outs. Duke's nothing in the bottom of the first. So that Gatorade commercial I was talking about, Kevin, in that Bryce Harper was one of the professional athletes featured in that Gatorade commercial, and that always reminds me of
familiar face.
Yeah, 4 years in a row on this same broadcast at the same field from this same vantage point. We watched Bryce when he was 11, 12, 13, and 14. He was in our televised championship game every year for 4 straight years, and now you see him all starring and starring in the bigs. So congrats to Bryce on all that. We loved watching him grow up on these same fields, and you never know where they're going to come from. Hey, on social media, use the hashtag #IPlayTCS. Get in the game. Tell the world your stories about the World Series or any Triple Crown event you're part of. Use hashtag #IPlayTCS. That's hashtag #IPlayTCS. Going to the bottom or the top of the second inning, we move on to the top of 2 now. Arlington Heat will take the bats again. Zach Collier, Jaden Lopez, and Zane Taylor. Jaden Lopez, the pitcher who made that last out defensively, he'll bat second in the inning. He came off the field during their previous win. The Heat, they went unblemished through the winner's bracket of their primetime double elim. Jaden had the catcher's gear on earlier today.
Wow.
Now he's out there pitching. We believe we just saw his only inning, according to Coach Chris Gay. So he did his 1 inning work, and that's what Coach Gay said. He said, you know, part of that is you let him know, hey, you've got a specific task, go out and get us 3 outs, get off there, and we'll get another guy in for you. And sometimes psychologically that can be pretty powerful.
It can be, yeah. Now the Dukes are going to come out, they're not going to know what to expect. They're going to see someone new again. It's a pretty good strategy.
Yeah, and a guy knowing he can just go down, go out, he doesn't have to worry about, can I get 3 innings, 4 innings, 5 innings, what's my pitch count? He can just go out and say, okay, I'm going to work 3 guys, I'm going to try to get 3 outs, maybe face 4 batters if I have to, whatever I got to do, but let's just get the defense off the field and hand the ball over to the next guy. So the first inning worked that way for the Heat. Dukes get a sweet breaking ball from Scott Ellis and a fool job on Zach Collier. Now a 1-2 count in the leadoff at bat of the top of 2.
Yeah, great breaking ball there. It actually slowed down the swing for Liam at that point.
Here comes the 1-2 with nobody out, nobody on. Dials it up, brings a little heat. Fouled back, straight back too, just missed that.
Yeah, you can tell he just missed it. That came straight back. He's looking for another fastball here. If he gets another fastball, he's going to be able to stroke it. He's got the confidence now.
Here's the 1-2. Go! Got the offer again, and this ball bounces away, bounces off the runner, and that got so far away, nobody's going to be able to retrieve it. I don't think there's anything wrong with that there's no interference there by the batter. It did hit him, but he was in the box finishing his swing. Ball bounced off the catcher, got a piece of Zach Collier, who moves on safely on the strikeout.
Yeah, I agree with you. If it was still in the box or in foul territory, I don't know, he might have been up the line a little bit. That might have been in play. That was pretty close.
It was all bang, bang, came off of the catcher, Cody Neal, went directly into the batter, Zach Collier. There are 4 umpires out here, remember, too, and 4 very good ones. This ball is ripped to center, right up in the sun, but no problem in center field for Mike Flores.
Yeah, like you said, right in the sun. That sun is setting behind us over these beautiful mountains in Steamboat, Colorado. Flores came up, gave a little hesitation like he might have lost it for a second, and then settled into it quickly. Pretty hard hit ball.
Now Zane Taylor, the first baseman for Arlington Heat, with 1 away and a teammate aboard. A strikeout and reached base on a wild pitch on that swinging strikeout is how the runner got there. This swing through, and again down in the dirt, free base. Moving along to second, Zach Collier.
Taking advantage of it, reading the downward angle, watching it. If you keep your momentum going towards second base, watching that downward angle, easy to take that bag once it gets by the catcher.
Talked about that sunshine, and Mike Flores, a center fielder, looking back toward the sun. Yep. He's also looking back toward a concert. There's a concert going on the hill behind us.
Yep.
There's a wedding going on right over here, and the rodeo will be going on right over there. And a championship game right here.
Tell you what, Steamboat, Colorado.
Place to be.
Let's go, Zane.
Pitch inside.
Zach, they ain't holding you on. Get a lead over
1-1 count after that pitch rides in near the shoulder. Make it a 2-1 count if that pitch rides in near the shoulder of Zane Taylor. Cooper Farrell waits on deck. Cooper, the third baseman for the Arlington Heat. Remember, they're batting a 10-batter order using the EH, the extra hitter. That is Zach Collier, who's out at second base. He's the EH. That pitch just missed. That drew a little youth baseball bleacher response.
Some parents and grandparents.
Understandably, as a borderliner.
Sure. They don't always have the angle, for sure.
Here's a 3-1 pitch with 1 out. It's in tight. Ball got loose, and it's going to be a first and third situation. So that is the third base that Zach Collier has taken on wild pitches. He got 1 on his strikeout. He got to second on a wild pitch. He gets to third. That's probably a pass ball is more what that is than a wild pitch.
Right.
But that's 3 free bags for the guys at third base, and on base with a walk is Zane Taylor.
Yeah, a little bit of traffic now for Mr. Ellis. Catcher jumps out and gives his first to third signals here to set the defense in play.
Let's go, Coop.
Strike called to start the count to Cooper Farrell, third baseman for Arlington Heat. Of course, we say their positions right now. Who knows where they're going to be when they make these pitching changes? It's going to ripple affect everybody. Scott Ellis takes a peek over first and third. What do you got going here, Coach?
Yeah. Well, it looks like he looks like he's going to swing away. You might try to. What I would be telling the hitter right now is to hit behind the runner, get to the right side of the infield, put the ball in play, and at least produce 1 run here early in this game.
Chris Gay coaching third base for Arlington Heat. The first base coach is Josh Henry. See if they've got anything going. Some motion for Zane Taylor, the runner at first. He's not breaking. That pitch gets the outer edge. Good location from Scott Ellis and a 1-2 count.
That's great location. That would have been great location to take that ball the other way. Also, what I was talking about, getting behind the runner.
Yeah, exactly. Outer edge. Just poked that to the right side. Second baseman Elijah Pelayo shaded toward the bag too. So there's, and with holding the runner on at first base with the first baseman Ray Northey holding on, there's a big hole on the right side.
Yeah, there is.
2-2 count. Ellis throwing some good pitches in this inning. He's thrown some wild pitches that have hurt him, but you know, he had the walk he issued, but he's really done some good things around the zone with some of his deliveries. Narrowly missed a time or two.
Right. He's got a lot of traffic, you know, but just he's 1 ground ball away from getting out of the inning again.
Runners on first and third. Right down Main Street, and a snap to third base, not in time. 2 outs on the strikeout. That's the second strikeout of the inning, along with a line out to center field, but only 2 outs on the scoreboard because of the wild pitch on that first strikeout of the inning.
Yeah, good pitching by Ellis. Talk about actually trying to dare a hitter to hit you. That's a fastball down Main Street. Couldn't catch up with it.
So a chance to wiggle out of here for El Monte Dukes of California. We've got Texas and California featured here. The Arlington Heat out of the Metroplex of Dallas, Texas area. And the El Monte Dukes of California. Thad Anderson with Kevin Williams. Glad you're with us tonight on this webcast of the Triple Crown Baseball World Series 13-year-old championship game. See that web address behind home plate, triplecrownsports.com. Kevin hung that up himself. It looks crooked from here, but it's actually not. The field just has there's a little slopey thingy going on. That's actually very well placed.
I think so, yeah. I think that's, we did a good job on that one this
so
year.
triplecrownsports.com, the web address if you're on your, well, you are on your some kind of device right now that you can check out the website, look at all the great events going on, and look ahead to next year for what your team's going to do with Triple Crown Baseball or Triple Crown Fast Pitch Softball. Of course, the basketball division, volleyball division, all happening. triplecrownsports.com. 0-2 count, 2 down. Heat haven't put anything on with runners on first and third and 2 outs. Might be thinking about something here, try to shake something loose on the scoreboard.
I tell you what, Binkley's really hanging in there. It's a couple foul balls. He's got an 0-2 count, and he's fouled a couple off already. He's trying not to give in to Ellis here. Again, Ellis got an 0-2 count. He's probably not going to give him much of a fastball. He might try to throw another wrinkle, but he's nervous about the runner on third also.
Griffin Binkley facing an 0-2. Ninth batter in the 10-batter order. Breaking ball, again gets a few groans, but it looks like a pretty good call. Luis Villalobos, our home plate umpire, seeing that one well. It bent, where it finished looked pretty good, but it bent around the inside part of the plate. Sets up a 1-2 count. Ball bounces, nicely blocked. Not sure where it was, but it stayed so close to him. No chance to move up. Cody Neal behind the dish, sold out on that. Backstop here is very close. It's
very
close to the
tight
plate. You got to
backstop.
get a sideways kick out of something to
Yeah.
have a chance to score from third.
I think Mr. Neal needs to thank the umpire for blocking that with a shin guard also.
Might have gotten a little help from some extra
Take what you can get.
backup there. Breaking ball did get the zone. Finally it worked. Scott Ellis put it where he wanted it. So 3 strikeouts in the inning plus a line out. One of those strikeouts, the runner reached base.
Right.
But the first backwards K of the inning ends the inning and gets us through the top of the second with still no score. These teams put runs up early when they met in pool play. So far through nine outs recorded, nobody's on the board. It'll be El Monte Dukes coming back to bat. They've got their 4, 5, 6 hitters coming. Cody Neal, Scott Ellis, and Zach Camp will bat in the bottom of 2 for El Monte Dukes. And now we're seeing, I asked Chris Gay about 5 times if he was going the single inning approach without question. He said no doubt. But we're seeing Jaden Lopez, who pitched the first inning, tossing the ball around by the mound, and looks like Jaden's going too. So
Yep.
maybe coach pulled off the strategy, especially when he saw the Jaden threw it very well in the first inning.
He did, yeah. He was able to handle the first part of that lineup pretty well. So now maybe he's thinking, sometimes coaches get a little gritty with some of those decisions, and they say, boy, they got through the top 4 hitters. Let's see if he can just get through 5, 6, 7, 8, and get us through a second inning, and kind of sneak that second inning out. I don't mind that idea.
So after we sold that so heavily, and we sold it only because
Oh yeah.
head coach sold it to us pretty strongly, but that's one of those moves you make, those gut moves you make, and it was a backwards strike, a backwards K, a strikeout looking to lead it off against Mike Flores, and then a ground ball to short and a ground ball to pitcher in the first inning. Very efficient, very in control, poised, so why not?
Exactly.
For Jaden Lopez, he's out of Palmer, Texas. Said Salvador Perez, his favorite baseball player. Salvador for the Kansas City Royals catcher. And that reminds us, our production crew, Niles Media out of Kansas City. We thank all of our production crew making the journey out here to Steamboat and putting together tonight's webcast of the Triple Crown World Series 13 and under championship game. Thanks to Niles Media, our whole crew getting the job going on. And pitcher number 25 right there, he's a Salvador Perez fan, so Kansas City well represented. He's also a guy, Jaden Lopez, who said he likes Fish Creek Falls, one of his favorite things to do here in Steamboat, a beautiful hike. And he also likes 8th Street Steakhouse, which kid knows what he's talking about right there.
He knows what he's talking about there. I love that place
order your
also.
order whatever you want off the case, and then you take it to the grill, do it yourself over there. Used to be called Boomerangs.
Used to be called Boomerangs,
And I could never remember what street it was on, so they renamed it 8th Street Steakhouse. And now I've never forgotten.
That's brilliant.
Good idea. There's a strike called and a 2-1 count, leading off the bottom of the second inning. Cody Neal. Cody leading the Dukes with 5 home runs during the World Series. He hit 2 in their previous game to get into this championship. We saw one of those. We were off at the other field. The second one he hit, we saw it landed in the sand out in those sand volleyball courts. It made a little explosive puff when it hit the ground. A little extra, some extra points, some extra style points on the landing, the splashdown.
Some movie special effects, yeah.
And not going to get a chance to knock one out here as Cody Neal accepts a leadoff walk. That's the first base runner for El Monte Dukes. Cody Neal aboard at first. He'll get a courtesy runner. So the catcher can take a runner. You can bring in an eligible sub. And it looks like they're going to bring in Dylan Alanis. Dylan Alanis running.
Yeah, it looks like Dalen. Yep, Dalen Alanis. Huh, Dylan, it is. Excuse me. That one's hit high.
This ball popped toward the gap in right center. Plenty of time to run over and get there. And the outmade Tyler shot in center field covers the ground. That ball hanging majestically in the mountain air, night sky.
But I'm always blown away when I see these kids come up to the plate. It's a 13U bracket, and as these guys come up to the plate and they're standing next to the full-grown umpires, are almost the same size. When they're standing at first base and they're talking, it's just a big kid. Some of these kids are just giant these days. Surprises me every time.
Yeah, you sometimes kind of forget the age group you're watching if you just, don't pay attention to that little graphic up on the top left of the screen that says 13U.
Yeah.
Runner breaks, got a good jump. Here's the throw, pretty good one. Safely in at second base. Dylan Alanis, the courtesy runner, steals second. So we saw the Arlington Heat not do really much with their runners other than taking free bases on balls past the catcher, but they sat on a first and third for a long time and never really took a shot at it. Here you see the Dukes running fairly aggressively.
Yeah, and Blake got the ball down to second base on time, just a short hop to the second baseman.
Blake Lalonde behind the plate. Throw looked pretty good on line, but tough to handle and get a tag down. So Dukes, the runner in scoring position, one out. Zach Camp, the left fielder, batting. Runner goes again. Short throw to third. Got him. Tag was up high on the shoulder. It was going to be close. And again, a four umpire crew, so we've got an umpire right behind that play. And he's got it out. Runner gone.
Yeah, he came up, took his time to make the call. Snap throw from third. That's always risky stealing third. Catcher's got a strong arm. Got the ball down in time. Yeah, like you said, high tag. That's what he's explaining to the coach right now. Hey, he tagged me on the chest. He tagged me on the chest, coach, I'm okay.
So the 2-5 put out erases that runner. They're trying to get Dylan Alanis around the bases in his courtesy running role, but he's erased at third. 2 away. Zach Camp on a 3-1 count. Fouled away in a 3-2 count now, full count, 2 down. Swinging strike 3, and down go the Dukes after a leadoff walk. Arlington Heat reasserts themselves, and we have no score through 2 innings of the 13 and under Triple Crown Baseball World Series Championship game from Steamboat Springs, Colorado. Played of a 7-inning ball game. We're through 2 of a 7-inning scheduled game. Run rules are in effect. Of course, nothing to really think about there yet because nobody scored, but should it get into a lot of runs going on the board, run rules would kick in. Otherwise, we're going 7 here in the championship from the Triple Crown World Series. Top of the third, we'll start with the same arm on the hill. Scott Ellis continues in the pitching role for El Monte Dukes.
Yeah, it looks like Ellis is in control. He's having fun. Look at those kids smiling, but you're throwing the ball around the horn, smiling at each other. Looks like a good time out there for these guys.
It'll be 10-1-2 batting in the top of the third for Arlington Heat. Blake Lalonde, the catcher, starts it off, to be followed by Tyler Schott and Colby Reeves, the number 1, number 2 batters in the Heat order.
There you go, low strike right there. That's what he wants to do. Pound the zone low.
1-1 count. Off speed, got the bat slowed down, popped up over second base. Catch made by Elijah Palayo, one away.
Nice play, got under it. Nice and loud, nice and vocal. We could hear him here calling it. Settle under it, looked like a pro. Looked like he's done it a million times. But you might have.
Possible. Maybe take a 0 off there. But numerous
Numerous
reps on those kinds of things. This ball is hit hard. The leadoff man, Tyler Schott, in his second at-bat of the night, is dialed in on the first pitch against Scott Ellis, and a rope single. That is the second base hit of the game for Arlington Heat. They've got one out, one aboard, and Colby Reeves coming to bat.
Yeah, Mr. Schott guessed right on that. He guessed fastball and just stroked it in the left center gap. Beautiful shot.
Tyler walked his first time and was doubled off on a line drive from this guy, Colby Reeves. Colby hit it hard his first time up, so he's got confidence. He sees a breaking ball to start his AB, and it's a strike.
Yeah, you see Ellis got hit on the fastball first pitch last time, so he starts out with a breaking ball this time. Maybe another sneaky breaking ball here, but I bet he tries to overpower him.
Interesting, I was watching the response from Scott Ellis. Didn't get that strike call, heard some groans. He did actually a good job while facing the plate of not showing any kind of reaction. He did look over to the dugout as he stepped off, kind of turned around and composed himself. Actually commend him for that. This ball bounces away, chance to move up and safely in at second base. It was close. Tyler Schott gets a free 80 feet on a passed ball.
Yeah, again, Tyler's keeping his eye on the downward plane of that ball. Just skipped a few feet away and was able to still take second base.
Now with one out and a runner on at second. Another opportunity here. There's a bender that gets the zone. Great pitch from Scott Ellis. An important strikeout there on Colby Reeves. That'll bring Gavin Brzezowski to the plate.
Holy cow, you can tell now that Ellis he's feeling more comfortable with that breaking ball. He's throwing it for his out pitch also. And that pitch he didn't get called strike, a fast pitch, fastball. He's got that in the back pocket also.
First pitch to Gavin Brzezowski, takes a strike.
Boy, he's doing a great job mixing up fastball, breaking ball on the first pitch. Got these guys guessing.
Here's the 0-1. Left side batter, Gavin Brzezowski. Time called, and not sure if something was detected there from the dugout from the Dukes. Dukes coaching staff, Ken Weldon, the head coach, a retired chief of police with the El Monte Police Department for 38 years, Coach Weldon. Assistant coaches are Richard Escobedo and Richie Escobedo, father-son tandem. They coach third and first base too, Richard and Richie, so it's a family affair. Pretty cool operation the El Monte Dukes run. They've got a lot of soul in their program, a lot of family, a lot of good feeling, and helping some kids experience some great things. So there's a mound visit by Richard Escobedo trying to address something with Scott Ellis in a 1-1 count with 2 outs. Ball loose again. That's a passed ball and a move up. Free bases being yielded on both sides of the diamond, but in particular the Heat been getting a lot of freebies out there on the diamond.
There was a little discussion there between the battery there, the pitcher and the catcher. There might have been a missed sign on that one, crossed him up.
So again, a runner at third base for Arlington Heat. Going to stay with that breaking ball against the number 3 batter in the order. They know Gavin Brzezowski can swing it. They're keeping him mixed, and that curveball gets the zone for a 2-2 count. Deuce is here, 2-2, 2 outs. This is the second consecutive inning that the Heat have gotten a runner to third base. Can they get him in? Scott Ellis rises above a couple of challenges in that top of the third and puts away Brzezowski. Another strikeout on the board. That now is 5 Ks through 3 innings for Scott Ellis. No score into the bottom of the third inning. From Steamboat Springs, it's the Triple Crown Baseball World Series 13 and under championship with a primetime bracket. Thad Anderson with Kevin Williams from Howelson Hill Park. And we now get the privilege, the distinct honor of saying hello to our chief umpire, Sean Grogan. Sean, thanks for stopping by.
You bet, Thad. Thanks for having me.
Sean has been the chief umpire at the Triple Crown World Series for, I think, 68 years. No.
20, actually.
Is this 20 this year?
This is 20 years. Came up here first in
1996.
Yeah.
I'm getting ready for my 23rd anniversary coming up in about a week.
Nice.
So
well, congratulations to you and
Thank
Carrie.
you, but that puts, holy cow, 20 years?
20 years.
Dang, that's pretty cool.
22 years if you count the first 2 years in Golden.
Sean out of Fort Collins, Colorado, with Northern Colorado sports officials. And Sean, we just want to have you stop by. We talked about our 4 umpire crew here, and obviously high quality umpires who've earned their way into this game, but the number of umpires and quality umpires who've worked this week and all 3 weeks of the World Series, an impressive group, and thanks to you for all the work you do.
You're welcome. You know, it really is a great group of guys. Most of them have come up just as long as I have. You know, out there when we go, we've got you know, guys who have worked at Division II College World Series, guys who were college baseball, high school baseball, summer baseball, and we all keep coming back to Steamboat just because it's such a fabulous place, and for most of us, this is where it began.
Yeah, you saw the 4 umpire crew listed on our screen. We get into the bottom of the 3rd inning, and there's Jaden Lopez again. Jaden, who was slated to go 1 inning by his head coach, Chris Gay, is now working his 3rd inning. So I guess the third base dugout likes what they're seeing out of their starter. They get ball 1 from Jaden Lopez to start the at-bat against Luke Solis. The minimum have been sent to the plate so far for the Dukes, and this is a team that swings it, and swings it with power. Back up the middle, and there's a base hit. That is the first base hit of the game for El Monte Dukes off the bat of Luke Solis. So for the 2nd straight inning, leadoff man aboard. And that brings Brandon Medina to the plate. He'll be followed by Ray Northey. Sean, one thing I want to ask you about with this 4 umpire crew, just in 80-foot bases too. We're playing 13-year-olds here, so it's a 54-foot pitching distance and 80-foot bases. What dynamics change with a 4 umpire crew out there?
Really not very many, except that it certainly just gets
bunted to a hole. There's a void in the defense, and nobody's going to get it. Infield base hit. Brandon Medina finds the gap in the D, and now a threat mounting for El Monte Dukes with 2 aboard, nobody out. Ray Northey coming to bat.
It just, you know, the mechanics get a little bit tighter on a diamond of this size, obviously, but we don't change anything up. Our rotations and our positioning, primary positioning, stay the same. If the bases get any shorter, then we have to change some things up for the little guys at 10, 11, 12 years old. But par for the course here.
How often, say in a 13-year-old or younger age group for your umpires in these youth tournaments, how often do we see a 4 umpire crew?
Not very often. You know, we do it for championship games on special events like this one, and usually it's a 3 umpire crew out there on you know, bracket events, and a 2 umpire crew on our pool events. But these guys have worked a lot of 4-man in their time at the high school and collegiate level, so they're doing a great job tonight.
Mound visit, and Jaden Lopez will stay out there, but this is the first real significant threat posted by the El Monte Dukes. They are on their number 9 batter of a 9-batter order, showing bunt again, Ray Northey. He gets it down the third base line, gonna be tough. Coming across the diamond, safe. 3 hits in a row, and the bases are full with the top of the order coming around now for the Dukes. And with our chief umpire on with us, I won't force him to comment on that other than that's a good call at first base.
That was a great call. One of the advantages to 4 umpire system is that you will always have the first base umpire in perfect position to rule on any play there at first instead of from being in the middle of the diamond.
That's Mason Smith over at first who made the call. We've got Colorado, South Dakota, Texas, and New Mexico represented out here, right? So you got 4 states. You got some geographic diversity on our umpire crew.
Correct, and you know, they all know each other real well. We've worked together at various spots for years.
Mike Flores has some pop. This ball off the backstop. Remember, we talked about a short backstop here, so you have to get a sideways kick on a ball past the catcher. That one, fortunately for the Arlington Heat, stayed controlled off the backstop. Mike Flores, the leadoff man batting right now, has hit 3 home runs in the World Series, and on Tuesday during the skills contest, he won the home run derby in the 13-year-old division. Right here, he's looking at a 3-0 count with bases loaded. No place for him. And Jaden Lopez, who was clean through the first 2 innings, is in trouble. He missed wide, and in walks a run. Luke Solis, who led off with a single, comes to the plate on the walk to Flores. 2 things I want to ask you about, Sean, before we let you get back to observing. I know you've got some kind of observation deck up here that you stand here. No, you don't. You just hang out around the field. I know that. Elijah Palayo is going to bat here. He grounded out the shortstop his first time up. Two things I want to ask you about. I know you have an initiative within Northern Colorado sports officials called True Blue. Just tell us a little bit more about that as we watch this at-bat unfold. Pitch one is strike one, inside part.
Sure. You know, True Blue is a 501c3 nonprofit organization that the umpires of Triple Crown Sports in Colorado have put together to benefit our recipient organizations. And
this ball's hit to left, got a little juice on it. Flag down and left, tag up coming, going to score easily. Second run of the game will get on the board as Brandon Medina tags and scores on a sacrifice fly from Elijah Palayo.
And so, you know, this year we've chosen to recognize and support two different organizations, the Sexual Assault Victim Advocate Center of Larimer and Weld County in northeastern Colorado, and the Wounded Warrior Project. And, you know, so far this year, we've raised over $25,000 to benefit those two organizations, about $2,000 of that coming right here this week at the Triple Crown World Series.
Looks like Gavin Brzezowski still playing left, had to retreat to catch that. Really no chance to throw the runner out tagging. So runners still at first and second here. Ray Northey at second and Mike Flores at first, and Liam Rocha, the number 3 batter in the order, swinging at 2-0 El Monte Dukes as they've gotten first blood here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Both middle infielders showing some hold. The pick move and playing dodgeball out there. I think that hit Ray Northey, the runner, kept it on the infield. When you say you've raised big numbers of money, how does that generate? What's the mechanism?
Well, we've got a couple things. You know, most of it's a straight donation of umpire pay. Most of our umpires work their games for, you know, less than the scheduled game amount, donating a portion of their pay to the program. And
Chopper is foul.
And then we hold various fundraisers throughout the year. We hold a cornhole tournament. We hold a big golf tournament that's coming up here just in a couple weeks. Bowling event, and then straight donations, you know, solicitation campaigns of the community as well. So it's an all-time year for us with over 25,000 so far.
That's something important that I knew I'd heard before, but I want to make sure I heard it again, and just to be sure everybody heard that. These umpires take a portion of game fees at various events and for various games they call and donate that back to these organizations to help others, and that alone is a pretty impressive move by all these umpires. That ball gets loose into center and trying to move up from first to second, safely in under the tag. Sliding in is Mike Flores, and moving along to third base is Ray Northey.
Yeah, you know, it's one of those things where, you know, the game of baseball gives us so much. A weekend up in a beautiful place like Steamboat, whatever it is, and we sure feel like, you know, we should give back to the community that gives us such a great opportunity to do this and stay on the diamond, even though our arms and legs probably don't work as well as they used to. We can't be out there as players anymore.
Liam Rocha with a 1-1 count and 1 out. Runners at second and third now for the Dukes with already 2 runs in the bottom of the 3rd. That pitch caught a lot of the plate, fouled off. So, Sean, I love the True Blue initiative. The other thing I want to ask you about is I know you worked the previous game on this field that the Dukes won to get into this championship.
I did.
I want to ask you 2 things about that. One is, what'd you see in the Dukes? What have you seen from them?
Dukes can stick, flat out. They can hit the ball. A lot of power in the middle of the order. A lot of scrappy kids at the bottom of the order that put the ball in play and really force you to get them out the right way.
Saw it off to short. That's going to bring a run to the plate, and in time, 6-3 on the putout. So a ground out RBI from Liam Rocha puts the 3rd run on the board for El Monte Dukes, and moving to third base is Mike Flores. That brings Cody Neal 5 home runs in the World Series, including 2 in the last game that, Sean, you witnessed yourself. This kid hitting 2 balls out of the yard.
I did. Unfortunately, I had to take a runner around the bases, so I didn't get to see where the balls landed, but I'm pretty sure they were out there a ways. The kid's got some pop.
And they intentionally walk him, so the word's gotten around that may not want to let Cody Neal swing the bat. And National Federation High School rules allow for just an order on. Don't have to throw the pitches. Just tell the umpires we're putting him on.
Correct.
So that's an intentional walk with 2 outs and now 2 on. And that'll bring Scott Ellis to the plate. Yeah, the second home run, when you said you didn't get to watch those, same courtesy runner steps on here, and Dylan Alanis. The second one, we saw it splash down in the sand volleyball courts out there. It looked pretty cool when it hit it. A big splash of sand and had some pizzazz to it.
Absolutely.
2 outs, 2 on, first and third situation here, chopped away. Other thing I want to ask you about is in that last game you umpired that the Dukes won to get to this championship, you were a 3-umpire crew, you were handling first base, and your son, Connor, was behind the plate.
He was.
And I saw you and Kevin Ainsworth look across at each other a couple times. I know when Connor bought the catcher a little time to shake off a ding-up that he had, I saw the 2 old dogs who've trained the young guy for so many years look at each other with a smile on their faces on how Connor understood and took the moment for the catcher. This wild pitch is bringing home run number 4. Here comes Mike Flores across the plate. Cody Neal, his courtesy runner, Dylan Alanis, moves on to second on the wild pitch. It's now 4-0 Duke. So I saw you guys admiring the young man's work, but it's pretty cool for you to be able to have your son who you coached in baseball, and now you get to partner with him on the field as an umpire.
Yeah, it's very cool. He's become fabulous young umpire, actually, and that's not just the father in me speaking, that's the umpire coordinator in me speaking. And we did. I got to coach him, and we actually got to come up and play up here in Steamboat for a couple of years, and now we sort of come full circle. And got to say, with his mobility and my lack of it, I think he's probably caught me.
It happens to the best of them, Sean. Fear not. This ball's hit hard and picked up at third base across the diamond. It goes, and that will end the bottom of the third. But 4 runs come home for the El Monte Dukes. We're going to let Sean Grogan get back to what he does among the many things he does best, and that's heading up the umpire crew. Sean, thanks for taking some time with us, and thank you for all the hard work you've done for Triple Crown and in this particular event also.
Well, thanks to Triple Crown and you, Thad. Appreciate it, bud.
That's Sean Grogan, chief umpire for Northern Colorado Sports Officials and the chief umpire at the World Series. Gatorade knows every victory starts from within. Within is the determination to come up big when it matters most. It also takes training and fuel. Win from within with Gatorade, the Triple Crown World Series and Triple Crown Sports, fueled by Gatorade. Thanks to Gatorade for their partnership with Triple Crown Sports. Hey, right there in the middle of our screen, in the blue shirt with the glasses on his head, 2 arms leaning on the fence, right in the middle of that group, right next to the guy in the green shirt to the right of the green guy. That's Steve Jegvig with the Steamboat Parks and Rec Department. I don't think Steve really wanted to be seen tonight. They try to lay low and just make things look good around here, but gives us a chance to thank all of our Parks crew as we just thanked our umpires. We also want to thank the facility staff who works so hard. And this event goes on for 3 weeks, and they run skills competitions and parades and all kinds of opening ceremonies on Tuesday. They play ball Wednesday to Sunday. You basically get Monday off, and teams want to practice who just showed up in town for the next wave of the World Series. The Parks crews, and Kevin, you're a Parks guy yourself. You can appreciate it. You're out of Fort Collins, but these guys in Steamboat, you know what they're doing. And thanks to Steve, to Ernie, and the whole crew.
Absolutely. It's a lot of work. It's a ton of work. And these infields play really strong for these guys. These infields are solid for these guys.
Yep, good hard work put in, and a full re-prep on this championship field right before we got this thing going here tonight. Check down the line. No offer from Caden Volkel as Scott Ellis continues his pitching assignment.
Okay.
Breaking ball gets the zone.
Tell you what, this is one of those beautiful times in Steamboat where the sun is now gone behind, and it is reasonably cool, probably in the 60s out here. Amazing. Low humidity.
Yeah, beautiful night. No storm activity floating around the valley tonight, so didn't have to worry about that. There's an outer edge strike and a 1-2 count. Caden Volkel grounded out to third base in the first inning. He bats again here to start off the 4th. Yeah, beautiful night tonight. Talking to Robert Rios a couple days ago, he's the director of the Triple Crown Baseball World Series. Ellis bobbled it, recovers it, and makes the play. Had to pounce off the mound and cover some ground to flag that down, and just enough time to record the out on Caden Volkel.
Yeah, it was comeback. It was a pretty quick comebacker. Got him off balance a little bit, but he's able to knock it down, slide, right himself, come back for the ball, and still get the out at first.
Zach Collier now bats, struck out his first time, but reached on a wild pitch on that strikeout, a loose ball. So he reached on a drop third strike his first time up. This time he's going to put it in play to the right side. Ellis, great job breaking off the mound. Perfect feed coming from first baseman Ray North. He showed the ball, gave the extended flip, and Ellis didn't hesitate. He saw that ball right side. He was gone, covered in first base.
I tell you, like I said, I'm surprised sometimes how big these kids are. You're also surprised at the perfect fundamentals that these kids display. 13U, for him to break that way, come off and show it and get the out at first, great play.
And remembering that we're on 80-foot bases, so if you hesitate, you don't get going right away, you can get track meted down the line. You can get sprint raced down the line and beaten by the runner.
Well, absolutely, yeah. You can't really get that long bubble turn to get up the line and cover first, but you pretty much have to sprint to it.
Jaden Lopez batting. Lopez swings it, and the liner ends up in the glove at shortstop of Liam Rocha. 3 up, 3 down inning. The first put out was 1-3. Right. Second put out was 3-1. And then an L6 for the third out, and that's a quick top of the fourth, and that's great for the El Monte Dukes. They score 4 runs in the bottom of the third, and then they come around defensively and just go bang, 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 3 outs. The momentum fully with the Dukes after we have played 3.5 innings. We go to the bottom of the fourth. Zach Kemp, Luke Solis, Brandon Medina coming up for the Dukes. From the Hard Rock Hotel Riviera Maya down in Mexico, what you just saw, to that beautiful sky in Steamboat Springs, Colorado. Triple Crown Sports, known for their destination locations, and tonight is one of the high points of that experience. This Steamboat setting, maximizing the experience for all these teams at the Triple Crown Baseball World Series. Pitching change for Arlington Heat, previously playing shortstop and now moving to the mound, Caden Volkel.
Well, it's another big kid. I presume throws pretty good heat from 54 feet.
Looks like the catching change here is Griffin Binkley. Looks like Binkley's moved behind the plate, so he was in right, now behind the dish. We'll kind of keep an eye. It's always, we don't get reported sub changes, and they kind of move them around on us sometimes without us completely knowing who's coming in. It looks like Jalen Myers is over at first base now. Jalen is taken over at first. I see Blake Lalonde, who was catching. He's moved out to second base. It's Caden Volkel, who moved from shortstop to the mound. He'll start the bottom of the fourth for Arlington Heat. Head coach Chris Gay makes that change. Chris been doing it a long time with Arlington Heat. They've taken a couple of second places at the World Series, and trying to win this championship in the 13-year-old bracket in 2016. First pitch from Volkel. Pulled that a little and ends up down and out, ball 1. Leadoff batter of the fourth inning for the Dukes is Zach Camp. There's a strike and a 1-1 count. Talked about the fact that Scott Ellis, the pitcher, has a full complement of innings. He could go a full 7 in this championship game if that's what's needed. And he shut out the Heat through 4. Arlington Heat with 2 base hits in the game, a couple of singles. And received a couple of walks, but not much against Scott Ellis. So the 4-0 lead. Arlington Heat, they got to hold it down here on defense against the Dukes. 2-2 count to Zach Camp.
Yeah, we talked about that kitchen sink earlier with the way the format is going to come out with the pitching. Obviously, the only second pitcher we've seen. He got away with the 2 innings, didn't get away with the 1.
Reached for and fouled away, protecting on 2-2.
That beautiful shot looking down towards the rodeo grounds, where the rodeo's starting, or has started already half hour ago.
Yep. Professional rodeo every Friday and Saturday night in the summertime here in Steamboat, among the entertainments. Full count pitch. Bounce to short. Tough hop and eats him up. That gets through, and just freshly in at shortstop, Colby Reeves, who moved there when Caden Volkel went to the mound. Tough chance for Reeves, and an error put Zach Camp aboard.
Well, yeah, it's tough giving that an error even. I mean, that's, he did choose his hop. As soon as he took a step back, that ball ate him up. Tough hop on him for sure.
Bunt offered by Luke Solis, and it got foul.
That ball had a lot of spin on it. Obviously, with these short bases, we talked about being 80-foot base paths. As soon as that ball spun, hit the dirt, bounced foul before it was touched out there, which is nice.
Oh, 1 pitch. Bounce toward first, going to go to second, take the lead runner. And time is called, and that's a double play, and that's the right call. The reason for that, Kevin, did you see that one?
Yeah, it looks like he slid in hard to the bag, came off the bag a little bit, made contact with the shortstop, making that force out. So the umpire deemed that the double play, running, basically sliding past the bag these days.
Yep, the feet kicked a little bit from Zach Camp. He came through, made contact with the defender, the shortstop, Colby Reeves, and it was past the bag to the outfield side, and it wasn't malicious. It wasn't anything over the top, but it looked like definitely an effort to stir the feet, to use the feet to move things around a little bit, and that's a right on the money call.
Absolutely, yep. We knew as soon as we saw it. Unfortunately, we don't have the replay to show you guys, but he came in hard to the bag. His feet hit the bag hard, and then his feet skipped up off the bag and made that contact and didn't allow him to make that play at first.
And it was the kind of play where probably not going to get him. The timing was probably not there, but that call is automatic. It doesn't matter. There's no judgment as to whether or not there was a play available.
Correct.
It's if that contact is made out there. Yeah. And it's Brooks O'Hearn umpiring out at second base. That's one of the benefits of a 4-umpire crew. We've seen it a couple times come into play tonight with an umpire right on top of a play with a direct view of just that part of the play, and that's well called. So that helps the defense of the Heat after the leadoff error. They get the twin killing. Pretty good decision there at first base also from Jalen Myers. He was pulled toward the bag at second. He didn't hesitate. He made the fielding play. Figured there's probably no double play available, but he took that lead runner and it paid off. Fly ball to right, and the Arlington Heat, after they gave up 4 runs in the 3rd inning, they're going to only have to face 3 batters in the bottom of the 4th and leave the scoreboard on a 4-0 score going to the 5th. Again, a 7-inning scheduled ball game. Heat batting in the 5th. They've got 3 more cracks at it, down by 4. Catch in right field was made by Zane Taylor. So Zane was playing first previously, and he moved to right when Jalen Myers moved over to first. Triple Crown Sports presents this World Series championship game. Baseball America is the nation's leading baseball resource, from the major and minor leagues to prospects to the draft to college and high school coverage. Keep up with all things baseball at baseballamerica.com. Our thanks to Baseball America, part of the family with Triple Crown Baseball throughout the course of the season. Baseball America, check the website for all things baseball. Thad Anderson, Kevin Williams with you from Steamboat Springs, Colorado. Kevin, you're enjoying some fine lodging, as is always the case when you make the trip to Steamboat. Great support from the lodging partners up here who manage all the various hotels and condos, and you've got your family up here, Whitney and Dayton and Kennedy, all part of the family fun for you this weekend. And you're staying right down by the Gondola Square, right?
Yeah, I'm down by the Gondola Square. I'm in the Ptarmigan House, just up from Timber Run, which we've stayed at a million different times in this area. Just up the road a little bit from the La Montaña restaurant that we love in Steamboat. Beautiful place, the Ptarmigan House, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you for the stay.
The lodging, fantastic up here. I think the Alpine Slide is closed down for the night, but just kind of past our right field foul pole up the hill, there's an Alpine Slide that comes down right above the fields. That pitch was completely missed by the catcher. A cross up from Scott Ellis to Cody Neal, and that was a direct hit to our plate umpire Luis Villalobos. Ouch.
That hurts, but it shows that these kids know what they're doing. You know, these young men know that hurt the umpire, and they're giving him a quick break. And look at Neal coming back to the umpire. He's a little bit chagrined. No eye contact yet. Let's see if he gives him a little look. Yep, and they talked it out a little bit.
Yeah, Cody Neal, the catcher, he had his eyes down the whole way back to walk of shame. You know, my job is to protect you, and that was a cross up there because, you know, it was a pitch he could have gotten something on, but he just expected it to end in a different location, and unfortunately the flesh revealed the plate umpire was exactly where that ball wound up.
Yep.
Swing through by Zane Taylor, and back to business goes Scott Ellis. Mentioned it at the close of the third inning when Ellis ended the third with a strikeout. Part of back-to-back strikeouts to close the third. He also closed the second with back-to-back strikeouts, 5 Ks through 4 innings for the pitcher Scott Ellis. Here he gets one back to himself. It's at least the second time, right, that he's fielded his position in there. So he's got 5 Ks and a couple of assists. He's been part of what, 7 of the 13 outs.
7 of the 13, yep.
You know, he went and covered the bag on another one too, so that's 8.
That's true. Some people say pitchers aren't athletes, right? But not at the 13U level. There's only 12, 13 guys on these rosters. You know, they got to play every position.
Cooper Farrell to bat now for Arlington Heat. Fouled back.
Cooper's favorite player is Albert Pujols. You know, can't disagree with that. Favorite movie, London Has Fallen. I don't think I've seen that.
Favorite thing to do in Steamboat, rafting. That's another of the, we talked about the Alpine Slide, Fish Creek Falls, fishing, rafting, tubing down the Yampa River over here. Part of the annual experience of these players. There's a look inside the third base dugout. The Heat occupy as they bat in the top of the 5th. The visiting team down by 4 in a 7-inning ball game. That ball off the helmet ends up in the bleachers. So we've had the home plate umpire plunk this half inning. Now we've got Cooper Farrell hitting the helmet.
Yeah, Cooper didn't like being hit. You know, it was a breaking ball. I don't think it was a fastball, so obviously no ill intent. Breaking balls slide off guys' hands at every age, let alone 13U. I know that Cooper gave a couple looks as he ran down to first, but there's nothing there. He's just trying to throw strikes.
Hey, quicker, let's
start off with a strike. Good answer by Scott Ellis after he lost that previous pitch off the helmet of Cooper Farrell. Griffin Binkley now batting, to be followed by Blake Lalonde. Back up the middle, almost got the pitcher, did hit the bag at second. That had a radar lock. Griffin Binkley wreaking some havoc through the middle of the diamond.
Yeah, that ball was stung. That was self-preservation for Ellis to get out of the way there. And we have a synthetic mound out there at 54 feet. So I'm really thankful that it didn't hit one of those lips on either the synthetic mound or the rubber and come up and get Ellis. So kind of glad that snuck through for a base hit.
Yep. Third hit of the game for the Arlington Heat. Pick move to second is late. Third base charging. They put a little defensive rotation on to try to get the runners moving and then pick behind to the second baseman. They moved the shortstop toward third, charged the third baseman, showing bunt coverage, trying to make Cooper Farrell feel comfortable with getting a little farther off. Pretty good pick play and good job by the runner Farrell not to fall for that pick rotation. Swing and a miss for Blake Lalonde. Lalonde popped out to second base his first time up.
Blake's nickname is Balake. That's probably from that Key and Peele skit that a lot of kids in the country named Blake's nickname's probably Balake these days.
This is a guy right here who hit a walk-off home run in Cooperstown and also sports a perfect British accent. We didn't get a chance to hear that out of Blake earlier, his perfect British accent. Takes that down, maybe out for a 1-1 count. Arlington Heat batting here down by 4. This program has been around for 20 years out of Arlington, Texas. Chris Gay, Josh Henry, Shane Farrell, the coaching staff. Arlington Heat's 20th year in existence, 15th trip to Steamboat. This ball toward third, going to be a chance to turn it. 5 to 3, the DP. That is just what the pitcher Scott Ellis ordered. Nicely played at third base. Luke Solis smoothly does the job, and the Heat, after 2 on with 1 out, that ends quickly.
Yeah, it's the third or fourth play that Solis has made this game also. Remember that the first inning he had a line drive, and he also had a ground ball that he charged on a hop. That play there, right over the foul line, able just to simply grab the ground ball, touch third, throw it over to first in plenty of time.
That is tough for Arlington Heat. They needed something right there, down 4-0. They really haven't had much for action, and got him again on a DP. That's the second double play of the game put up by the defense of the Dukes, and both times started over at third base. Hey, whatever your game, softball, basketball, baseball, volleyball, treat your team right. Destination location, signature memories, professional staff. Get in the game at triplecrownsports.com. That's triplecrownsports.com.
Yeah, you mentioned 2 double plays. It's only been 4 innings, right? 5 innings. So these 7-inning ball games, when you start getting double plays in 2 and 3 innings, that really changes the complexion of a baseball game at this age.
Wind starting to whip around in Steamboat. You can see the flag cranking on the flagpole now. Our paper's starting to fly around a little bit on us, and pretty calm earlier. Now that wind blowing with a little pace on it, and it looks it might be blowing outward, which is not good when you're playing defense against the Dukes, who can already hit it a long way. Pitching change here for Arlington Heat, and for the Heat, they're going to go to number 4, Lance Raines. Lance out of Midlothian, Texas. He's going to face that guy to start off the bottom of the 5th inning, Ray Northey. Singled and scored his previous at-bat. His only time at the plate back in the 3rd inning was a single and a run coming home from Ray Northey. He'll lead it off here in the bottom of 5. Strike called, and good start for Lance Raines.
Well, I like to look at Lance up there on that release. You saw as a clean motion, nice and lanky, kind of whippy. We like to say that whippy as a pitcher, generates a lot of velocity.
The pitcher Lance Raines, he's a ping pong aficionado and a Texas Rangers fan. Of course, these guys out of Arlington, Texas. Looking at the rodeo grounds over there and watching the dirt blow, it looks like the wind's kind of whipping, but it does look like it's kind of blowing toward right center. So we're already at altitude. Now you got the jet stream available. Down the lines here, left field marked at 292, right field 284, center field at 322. Those are probably generous signs. No longer than that for sure on the distances on these fields. They are tall fences. What are those 10-foot fences? Yeah,
they're 10-foot fences. You know, they're probably generous as far as the distance, but again, the altitude, what is it, 9%, 10% further the ball travels?
Yeah, in town in Steamboat, just a little above 6,000 feet of elevation, and up on the ski mountain, of course, add a couple more thousand feet. But here where we're at, playing just a little above 6,000 feet of elevation. Of course, Coors Field just under a mile high at home plate, so a little perspective on the altitude.
Right.
Full count now to the first batter of the bottom of the 5th, Ray Northey. Fouls it away to earn himself another pitch. Arlington Heat, we were talking about it a minute ago, 20th year of the program, 15th trip they've made to Steamboat. Chris Gay said, when asked why he coaches, just wanted to give back to the kids, loves the game of baseball, wants to teach it the right way. Just doesn't get any better than that. Loves spending his time out here helping these kids enjoy it. This ball hit well toward left center. That will drop at the track, bounce to the fence. And a leadoff double from the number 9 batter in the order, Ray Northey. He's 2 for 2 in this championship game. A single earlier and a leadoff double in the 5th.
Well, he put a charge in that one, Coach. He hit left center gap on that, gave it a ride. Like you said, he hit the track. If he would have hit that right center with that jet stream, he might have got out of here with that swing.
Back to the top of the order now, Mike Flores bats. Flores 0 for 1, struck out his first time, walked his second time. The walk was an RBI walk with the bases loaded back in the 3rd. And he also scored after walking. He came all the way around. to score that 4th run for the Dukes. Talked about the Heat and their philosophy and some of their approach. Ken Weldon, the head coach for the Dukes, Richard and Richie Escobedo, assistant coaches. And as Coach Weldon told us, watching their players compete, turning into successful young men who give back to their communities. That's why the Dukes do what they do. And again, that's greatly appreciated. Congratulations to both of these staffs for putting these teams on the field and earning their way into this championship game. Coach Weldon also talked about the opportunity to meet numerous young men, help them move toward successful lives, travel the country, meet quality people associated with baseball, you know, broaden that perspective on who's out in the world. Got to move up to third base for Ray Northey.
That must have been a balk. I was looking down at my notes when that happened also, but the only thing I can explain would be a balk.
Yeah, and we had umpire run in and point from second to third, balk call. And that's was that ball 4? Or if the last pitch was a balk, that might, if that was no pitch, then that may not be ball 4. Let's check it. Yeah, I think it's going to stay as ball 4. That's going to bring a visit to the mound from Chris Gay, the head coach for the Arlington Heat. Got to talk it over with now runners on first and third and nobody out in the bottom of 5. Talking about the assistant coach Richard Escobedo. He played for the Dukes in 1988 and 1989. Played for this program, and now he's working the coaching staff. And then his son, Richie Escobedo, played for the Dukes. Now coaching first, played for his dad and played for the Dukes in 2011, 2012. Currently pitches for East Los Angeles College, the first base coach, Richie Escobedo. So pretty cool family lineage, and both of these programs long-standing with a lot of quality, not only competition on the field, but quality outcomes for young men.
Yeah, that's neat. That's neat to hear that they're wanting to be with the program, give back to the program that they spend so much time with themselves. Growing up in the game, that's really amazing that they're here giving back to this their local community.
Pitching change for Arlington Heat. They're going to send Tyler Schott to the mound. Tyler started in center field. He'll move to the hill. With the wind blowing, and every time you have that in the valley here, the Yampa Valley, when the wind starts, that usually means there's something moving down the valley, some clouds working their way around. I've been here a lot of years, and we would think that the way this one looks, it's going to be a blow through. I don't expect anything too significant. Of course, you never want to say that, right?
Yeah, you don't want to jinx it, but we have also seen a lot of games here at this venue and in this city and this valley, and I think you're 100% right. Last night we had a similar squall that came through for just a few minutes. Couldn't have been more than 20 minutes, and it was another gorgeous evening in Steamboat.
Score stands at 4-0, nothing across here yet in the 5th inning for El Monte Dukes, but they are threatening with a first and third situation after the walk to Mike Flores. Elijah Palayo with Tyler Schott, the lefty, now pitching. Well, the concert's in full force now. They're jamming it out pretty good, just across the way from us. Dead ball at the plate. That hit the batter. It's going to load him up. Elijah Palayo shakes it off. He actually took a second to give the "I'm okay," the acknowledgement and commendation to Tyler Schott, the pitcher, who walked forward and checked on Palayo, who he had just hit with a pitch. And now they're full for the Dukes.
Yeah, again, another no intent for malice there, just trying to pitch strikes. So he gives me the acknowledgement of, hey, nothing hurt here, I'm okay.
Got him again. Back-to-back hit by pitch, going to drive in a run. Liam Rocha takes a hit by pitch and an RBI. We have one walk-in RBI and now a hit by pitch RBI among the 5 runs on the board for El Monte Dukes. 2 of those have come in on free stuff. look of frustration from Tyler Schott. You know, that lefty ball really bending across the zone and getting into the right-handed batter's box. That's tough. That's Tyler, obviously a talented kid. He's got a good arm. He has good mechanics, good motion. Just came into a tough spot and has had a tough start to his appearance.
Yeah, you hope he's able to jump on right now with a strike, set himself, kind of calm his nerves.
And now, last time this guy was up, they intentionally walked him, Cody Neal, but this time the bases are full. So you can take your chances and you can put him on and give up 1, or you're worried about letting him swing it and putting up 4. And he almost took that off the knee. Cody Neal takes. Well, the jeopardy is starting to mount here for Arlington Heat. Down just 5-0, but with the bases loaded and the cleanup man batting, a guy who's hit 5 home runs in the tournament, including 2 in their most recent game before this championship. Run rule after 10 innings after 5 innings is 10 runs. There's a 3rd consecutive hit by pitch. Tyler Schott, the pitcher, is upset with himself, flustered, and doesn't want any part of what he's doing to these batters. It's the last thing he's looking for, obviously. Another run in, and the base is still full. Tough for the Heat to see this happen. A good team who's played a great tournament.
Right.
Don't see movement. We saw bullpen action getting ready to go, but the Heat gonna let Tyler try to work his way into something more positive. Another guy with yard power, Scott Ellis. Gonna chat with him. Jaden Lopez, the catcher, gonna head out. So again, 10 runs after 5 innings is a run rule in the 13-year-old division, or 8 after 6. It's 6-0 now. If the Dukes score 2 more of these runs, and they have nobody out right now, if they score 2 here and then hold the Heat in the top of the 6th, that would end it. Or if they throw 4 more on the board, that would end it. So the run rule run is at the plate right now in Scott Ellis.
I tell you what, Ellis took a mighty hack. I think he knows he's the run rule.
Dukes playing for a championship. Strong in pool play. They lost their first bracket game and then had to play back through the loser's side of the bracket, and did so with some dominance, beating Saddleback Cowboys twice earlier today to come out of the loser's bracket. This ball nubbed toward first. Ellis hustles his way down, but it's going to be picked up, played out by Jalen Myers.
Yeah, Jalen made a great play on that. You know what? That ball was corkscrewed and spinning to the side for him to stay with that ball, and he did pick it up with his glove instead of his bare hand to make the out.
So Ellis's ground ball brings home the 7th run of the game for the El Monte Dukes. 1 out, 2 runners aboard for Zach Camp. So again, if the Dukes either get the big swing here from Camp, that would end it right there. Or if they score 1 more, at least 1 more of these runners, then they just have to hold the Heat in the top of the 6th to claim the championship at the Triple Crown Baseball World Series for 2016. Well, good to see Tyler Schott get back in the zone.
That's
he
better,
had some struggles when he first got up there, and you know from watching him, he's a quality pitcher. You just don't want a kid to have to go out that way. It'd be great if he could find his way out of this inning somehow, just for his own memories, his own experience, but he's got tough hitters to face. Here's the pitch to Camp. Got it in on the hands, good pitch.
That's a great pitch. Left-hander bearing inside on the right-handed batter. It's exactly what you want to see from him. 2 balls, 2 strikes right now. I bet he tries to live on that outside edge this time against him, see if he can get out of this.
Up around the shoulders. Camp sprays that up the hillside. It's always a challenge to find those foul balls.
Yeah, a lot of tall grass.
Grass-covered hill. Kevin Williams next to me, I'm Thad Anderson. We coached together for 10 years. Camp hits this to center. And diving effort, ball gets down. One run is in, and the other runner's going to move along to third base. Great effort in center field, just couldn't quite keep it in the leather, and a single and an RBI for Zach Camp.
You know, he's upset with himself out in center, but what an effort. He dove on that ball as hard as he could. Again, the wind's blowing that direction, so the ball's tailing away from him. Incredible effort on that play, and he's frustrated himself, but you know what? That's a great effort.
A lot of ground to cover, wind blowing. Yeah, anytime you get leather on it, you're, he knows he made a great run at it, had a great shot at it, and just couldn't keep it in the mitt.
Yep.
Now this ball hit it hard again to center field. That's going to bring in another run. So now runners on first and second after the Luke Solis single and an RBI. Cody Neal, his runner. Dylan Alanis scores again. Alanis has been able to run for Neal 3 times in this game, getting himself around the bases. Coach Ken Weldon was telling us a story about the hats of the Dukes actually say FA for Frank Amaya,
yep.
One of their longtime contributors to the Dukes program, who passed away within the last couple of months. The players loved him. After they lost their first bracket game here in Steamboat, they broke out those new hats. They had Dukes hats. They had a meeting with the kids and said, hey, we lost a game. We're not done. There's a lot of things to learn. We've done so much together. Let's do what we do. Let's put it together and play some ball. They handed out the new FA hats for Frank Amaya, and they haven't lost since then. Brandon Medina softly toward third. Picked up, and the out is made. Runners move along to second and third. Looks like third base still Cooper Farrell.
Still Cooper over there, yeah. Still Cooper over there making the play. Again, a little bit of difficult play to make. Just get the out at first. Don't worry about the runner. Just try to make outs.
And it's back to where it all began. Ray Northey, who doubled to start this whole thing, he could end it right here. 9-0 the score. Run rule would be 10-0. So we sat on 0-0 into the bottom of the third, and it was 4 runs in the third and now 6 more in the fifth. And with 2 outs and 2 runners out there, Northey keeps the inning alive and brings a guy down from third. It's going to end it in championship style for the El Monte Dukes of California. Tyler Schott, the lefty pitcher, trying to keep it alive, give his team a chance to hit again. It's a 7-inning scheduled ball game. Of course, if they get out of this inning, they'd have to score at least 2 in the top of the 6th to keep it alive, because the 8-run rule would become a factor in the 6th inning. Here's the pitch.
Well, if they can get out of it, we know that the Heat are capable of doing that with the runs they've scored today and yesterday for sure. To get to this point, we know they're capable of chipping away if they can get out of this jam.
Strike 2 gets the zone. I think we're sitting on a full count now with 2 outs. That's down, blocked nicely behind the plate by Jaden Lopez. And yeah, they're gonna, batter thought it was ball 4, but it looks like they're calling him back, saying it's only 3-2. A little confusion in the count. So Ray Northey being called back. We've got the book for the Dukes believes it's ball 4. I think Northey would actually like a chance to swing it and end the game. He's all right coming back to the plate.
Yeah, absolutely. These young competitors, they want that moment. They want to have a chance at it.
Ray 2 for 2 in this game, a single, a double, 2 runs scored. He's a Bryce Harper fan. Now he's going to take this pitch in on the belt, and he'll earn his, what he thinks is his second walk of the at-bat. So Northey on for the second time in the inning. He's pretty much a non-factor at first base. If that run from third comes home, it's it. Top of the order. Strike on the outer edge, ball breaking out. So a lefty on lefty here finally for Tyler Schott. He's been struggling with those righties a little bit. He's going to get a chance to look at the lefty, Mike Flores, who again is the home run derby champ here at the World Series. Can he get one here? He got one up in the Steamboat sky, caught in left field. Arlington Heat will avoid the run rule in the bottom of the fifth, trailing 9-0. One more run would have ended it. Instead, they'll get a chance to hit, and they're going to need 2 runs in the top of the sixth to keep this championship game alive. Otherwise, if the Dukes can hold them to 0 or 1, it's going to be championship time for El Monte. From Steamboat Springs, it's the Triple Crown World Series.
Premium events, professional staff, and memorable experiences no matter where you travel. That's what you get by playing with Triple Crown Sports. For more than 30 years, we've been providing athletes and families all over the world with destination championships that resonate for a lifetime. Get in on the action and follow your team to the next event from Triple Crown Sports.
Opportunity for a complete game if he can get out of this with either nothing or 1 run allowed. Scott Ellis will throw a complete game in the championship at the Triple Crown World Series. Thad Anderson, Kevin Williams back with you from Venata Field, Howelson Hill Park, a 4-field park here in Steamboat Springs, Colorado. The hub, the home of the Triple Crown Baseball World Series. There's 7 fields in Steamboat: Strawberry Park, Strawberry Field, Ski Town with 2 fields, and then the 4 fields here at Howelson, also in Oak Creek and Hayden and Craig, Colorado. Ball fields are sprinkled up and down the Yampa Valley, thanks to all of our facility partners, all the host communities. And Kevin, my thanks again to you and your efforts, your time here to come up and join us. I know it's tough duty.
Oh, you bet. Yeah, you bet it is. It's a lot of fun to be up here. These kids compete so hard. They're 9 games and is it 8 games respectively? These guys have played a ton of ball this week.
Yeah, 10th game for the Dukes, 8th game for Arlington Heat. Top of the order here for Arlington Heat, so they've got, at least, from the way you deploy it at the start, they've got the guys coming up who they would like to see generate a couple of runs and keep this game alive. Scott Ellis, good pitch inside, but he sees that rip through the right side, and the second hit of the game for Tyler Schott. Tyler with a walk and 2 base hits. He's 2 for 2 in this championship game.
Yeah, he wants to get across to extend this game. He wants to get a couple runs in to give his team a chance. So good for him getting up there and slap one through the right side. Good for Tyler.
These 2 teams in the same pool. They started in the D pool, and they actually opened the tournament against each other in the very first round, the opening curtain at 8 a.m. on Wednesday out in Hayden. El Monte Dukes won 16-7 over Arlington Heat. And again, they're in firm control today at 9-0, threatening to end it right here if the Heat can't get 2. These 2 teams came out of that same pool. El Monte 3-0 in pool play. They came out the number 5 seed overall. Arlington Heat 2-1 and just barely made it into this primetime bracket as the number 12 seed. But then put it all together, did not lose a game in the bracket in the double elim until potentially right here. They went unblemished, cruising through the primetime bracket. I was just confirming, yeah, it's true. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, yep, 8th game of the tournament here for the Heat, 10th game for the Dukes.
That is a lot of baseball for these guys. You can tell right now, Ellis, I don't know his pitch count right now, but he's not even laboring up there right now. So he's got a lot of gas left in the tank.
I'm seeing 72 degrees on my readout. Ball to short, 6-4. To 3 in the DP. El Monte Dukes now 1 out away from the championship after their 3rd double play of the game.
Yeah, 3rd double play. Like I said, in a 7-inning game, you turn 3. That really helps out your starting pitcher. Great turn out at second base. Is that still Palacio at second base? I think it is. Great turn out there, quick hands. You could tell how soft his hands are and how quick that turn was to make that 6'4" DP.
Yep, Elijah Palayo, the second baseman, made the turn. It was Liam Rocha, the shortstop, who got a good quick start to that. So now nobody aboard and 1 out away from capping off the championship. Gavin Brzezowski, the batter. Gavin with a single in this game. He's 1 for 2. Good looking lefty hitter up there for the Heat. Talking about that temperature, and I was going to finish that thought earlier. Robert Rios, the director of the Triple Crown Baseball World Series, was telling me earlier this week, it was early in the morning, it was 38 to 40 degrees out here.
Wow.
These folks from California and Texas were all bundled up in blankets and long sleeves, sweaters and sweatshirts, and
I'm sure they're the same ones asking if there's air conditioning in their condo rooms. Not necessary.
A lot of variation in the throughout the day. Here's the pitch. Second strike is called, and now down to their last strike. Arlington Heat.
What a performance from Mr. Ellis.
Painted it, backwards K, caps off the championship. Scott Ellis, complete game. And he ends it with his 6th strikeout of the contest, a 6-inning complete game shutout. And the champions of the 2016 Triple Crown Baseball World Series 13-year-old division, the El Monte Dukes of California. Thad Anderson, Kevin Williams post-game now, freshly minted champions. The second place team, you just saw the Arlington Heat. Congratulations to the Heat on a great run through the bracket here in playoff play in the World Series. Arlington Heat, like we said, 2-1 coming out of pool. Their playoff games, they beat the Houston Wranglers 17-6. They beat the Lubbock Raiders 17-4. They shut out the Bombers of California 7-0. Beat the Wranglers again, who came back out of the losers bracket 19-10. But they ran into some trouble here with a 10-0 loss to the El Monte Dukes. Meanwhile, for El Monte, they were 3-0 in pool. They lost their first playoff game to Oklahoma Fuel, and then they won 9-1, 8-0, 10-2, 6-1, 13-8, and now 10-0. El Monte really turned it on after that loss and those new hats that they were given by their coaching staff. So, Kevin, it's been entertaining as always, and congratulations to the champs.
Absolutely. El Monte, they were. We knew when both teams, when we came into this, we knew they could hit, and it looked like the pitching was the difference today. The pitching for Mr. Ellis came in there, complete game. You said 6 strikeouts. I think just 2 hits. Is that correct? Maybe 3 hits.
I think is what
3 hits. A 3-hit complete game shutout in a championship game at this level is an amazing effort for Scott Ellis. So
El Monte
congratulations.
Got 4 in the 3rd inning. They got 6 more in the 5th, and end up winning 9-0 in the championship game. For Kevin Williams and our entire production crew, I'm Thad Anderson. You can watch this entire game on replay on the Triple Crown Sports YouTube channel. The 13 and under World Series championship game has been a production of Triple Crown Sports. Our thanks to Niles Media for providing crew and technical facilities for tonight's webcast. From Steamboat Springs, the champions of the Triple Crown Baseball World Series 13 and under primetime bracket. Congratulations to the second place team, the Arlington Heat, but the champs for 2016, the El Monte Dukes of California.